Hey Earthlings! So I'm just going to explain the 5 hindrances to self-mastery according to Buddhist beliefs, if I can manage it. And I don't just speak to you, I speak to myself as well, as the healer heals theirself whilst healing others. And even though they're Buddhist beliefs, it doesn't necessarily mean that these are right for you. But even if you take away a part of it for yourself in your life, then it's worth it. So for now, just take with you what resonates for you, as we're all in different places and spaces. And what I can do today, I couldn't do 2 years ago. So take what you need from it. So according to Buddhism, the path to self-mastery includes the 5 hindrances. So to begin with, discovering ourselves, I was led to believe that this was about going to college, university, learning as much as I could. But this was away from the truth, I feel. The training and development was to be of myself. And even though I did learn and develop along my life path as it unfolded before me, but what is more valuable and so valuable is learning more and more about yourself. And I did, in a way, it was meant to be. So sharing with others and connection to others also helps. And I had this in a way as well. But the 5 hindrances were sure more present in my life than being present was. And now it's the other way around, which is pretty amazing. So first of all, always enjoy your time, even if it's doing nothing. And I have enjoyed my time, even the bits where I've done nothing, I think. But it's not until now that I actually realise what I love to do and what I enjoy. What do you enjoy doing? And it's important to find out what it is that we enjoy doing and to find a way to do that. So don't just listen to others and their stories of them doing what you want to do. Don't let their experiences prevent you from reaching your goals. Because when you're there at your goal, looking out from you, only you will know how that feels for you. And so it's got to be you that reaches your goal to experience the truth of what that feels like. So to be successful in this self-mastery, we must invest in the right effort, which is what any spiritual journey is about. And this means seeing more clearly, to have clarity in what we most must do to achieve it. So once we start putting in the right effort, connections in all things will become more apparent and more likely, and you'll start lining up what you need in order to reach your goals. So when we begin to see clearly, we realise that there's no need to believe anyone or anything. And thinking clearly means that you can recognise for yourself which is the proper direction to take and what decisions you have to make in order to make your goals, aspirations, dreams to be shaped. Along your personal journey, you will encounter and come across challenges, and I nor anyone else can tell you which way to go. That's down to you and your knowing and your intuition, which is why we have to be clearer in our mind. And the challenges you face will prevent you, and some even stop you from moving on and reaching your dream or goal. The 5 hindrances in Buddhism describe different states of mind, and these states cloud the mind and therefore prevent you and me from engaging in the right decisions. The first hindrance is called sensual desire, and this arises in the moment when you are paying attention to it, something that is giving you a positive emotion. This positive emotion can originate from the 5 senses of your body: seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting and feeling. So in your mind you begin to move towards your goal, your dream, and after a little while, for example, you see a beautiful restaurant and smell the delicious food and see the amazing drinks. So as soon as you follow this temptation, you've already lost track. And when the temptation becomes so strong that you don't want to leave the restaurant anymore, then the sensual desire has become an obsession. And in both of these experiences, and remaining there means you can't get clarity. The second hindrance is to do with ill will, describing the state of mind which arises from negative emotions. In that state of mind, you have a strong dislike or rejection against an object, situation, or a person. It means you are on your path, but there's something about getting there that you don't like. This doesn't make it a pleasant journey unless you learn to let go of this ill will. It may even prevent you from continuing with your journey. The third hindrance is sloth and torpor. Sloth meaning the heaviness of the body, torpor meaning the dullness of the mind, described by sleepiness, non-motivation, lack of energy, and can sometimes manifest into a state of depression. A simile in Buddhism describes it as imprisonment, finding yourself locked in a cell, and it becomes very hard to make any kind of mental or physical effort. So in order to continue on your path, you need to find a way out of the cell or hole. Climb that ladder out of the hole. I've heard that one before. The fourth hindrance is called restlessness, and this meaning an unsettled mind. Your mind cannot settle in the present moment. An unsettled mind is either worrying or fearing about the future, or thinking bad or sad and depressed about the past, and rejecting and judging your own past. This is referred to as the monkey mind, jumping around, unable to stay still for long in the present moment. The problem here is there is no time to see clearly. The fifth hindrance is called skeptical doubt, and is very closely related to a state of mind which is based in indecisiveness. In this state of mind, it is very easy to get lost in thoughts. You ask yourself, can I do this? Is this the right path? What will others say? What ifs? The mind cannot synchronize with its own actions anymore, and the result is you get disconnected with your dreams and goals and aspirations that you made, that you set for yourself. When the way is filled with too much doubt, more often you will stop instead of moving. So what can we do about these 5 hindrances? We need to align and structure our life in such a way to prevent these hindrances from arising. And if you're not successful, you will need to use these techniques in order to remove them, as each of these hindrances is placing a dark cloud on our mind or on our path. Remember, even if you don't like the rain, You need to just let it rain. Let it happen. Let it be, even if you don't like it. So the 4-step method to helping remove the hindrances is to firstly recognize what state of mind you find yourself in. So this means you have to become self-aware to be able to recognize and observe what state of mind you find yourself in. And then you accept and acknowledge and allow the situation or a person to be the way it is or how they are. Next, you consider your emotional and mental state and ask yourself questions. Why did it come up? And be honest with yourself. And what is going to be the consequences if I remain in this state or act on it? If it helps, write it down and pin it up somewhere where you will constantly see it. Once we can see it and observe this state, we non-attach. And this experience is non-identification. So therefore, we can now see those aspects of ourselves and know that that in the mind and body is not what defines us. I can choose differently with mindfulness. We, you, can choose differently once we stop and observe what we're doing. So by being able to do all of this and practice it and keep finding ways to keep going over it and over it and over it, and yes, sometimes we have to go around a few times, but every time we get off, we get back on at a different part, a bit further down the road. So don't beat yourself up for slipping off, as long as you get back in, and this will bring meaning and value to your life. To be successful on your path, you need to master yourself. So long as you start and go all the way, don't stop. Even if that means you pause, always get back on as soon as you're able to, and get back on with it for you. Just keep going, don't stop. That's the secret. Don't give up.